a quick moment of silence for our colleague and friend, Mr. John Hodges. So just a quick moment of silence, please. Thank you. Didn't get to know him for that long. I've only been to serve with him for about a year and a half, but he was just such a inspiration to me and gave me some, words of wisdom, and he was always willing to help and answer questions for me personally. So, obviously his service record, and we'll read the resolution in the full committee meeting, but just a great public servant, great person, and be dearly missed by all of us and his friends and family. So Ms. Scott, would you like to certify we have a quorum?
Yes, sir. Town of Ashland, Ms. Barnhart. Charles City County, Mr. Patterson. Chesterfield County, Mr. Holland. Goochland County, Mr. Lyle.
Here.
Hanover County, Mr. Davis.
Here.
Henrico County, Chair Rokish.
Here.
Newcastle County, Mr. Moyer.
Here.
Powhatan County, Mr. Kenny. And City of Richmond, Dr. Newbill. Here. Thank you. We do have a quorum.
Excellent. And I don't believe we have any members participating remotely for this meeting. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then are there at this point, any considerations to the amendments to the meeting agenda from anyone? Hearing none, we can get an approval on the May 29th meeting minutes on page 4 of the packet. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And with that, we will get down to the secretary's report. Ms. Schickel?
Okay, thank you. First item there is a calendar housekeeping item. The schedule for the policy board meeting for this fiscal year was adopted or was published, but we do know that the April meeting date is in conflict with the area's public school spring breaks, which has historically been a conflict for many members, particularly those with school-age children. And so in talking with the chair, we thought we would propose some alternatives to scheduling that. We had already identified that in addition to the April meeting, the May meeting time conflicts with the scheduled intercity visit, which is also a regularly attended event by many of you. And so we thought perhaps we could look at, I'll say splitting the difference, if you will, moving the meeting perhaps later to the latter part of April so that it could cover business that would have typically been on both either the April or May meetings. But we wanted to check that date with members and see if there's sort of a known conflict that we would want to try to avoid. So Janice, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we were looking at possibly the 23rd or the 30th. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
So April is one of those months that has a 5th week, which sometimes can prove useful, but it also is useful to so many people that your schedules might already be taking advantage of a 5th week. So we wanted to float that by you. So if you have access to calendars, if the 23rd or the 30th look.
Both are fine with me. The 23rd, we have CBTA at 24th, so is there a room here that I could stay with?
Sure,
Oh,
yeah.
Of course.
What
Yeah,
everyone?
yeah.
Yeah, is everyone okay with that? If
Yeah.
we do one meeting in between the two, I know the inner city, is that?
Yes.
I'm hearing consensus. And I guess the question is, also, can we just make that decision in the executive team, or do you think we need to bring that up to everybody else? I think we were gonna just try to say.
Yeah, and I guess, Mr. Riblet, since you're here, I mean, it's a busy time of year with deadlines and deliverables, but we just want to make sure we're projecting that timeline as early as possible. So planning for TIF amendments and things like that.
And with this kind of advance notice, I think we'll certainly work to try and meet any kind of schedule requirements.
I show up when I'm
Davis,
invited. I'm
any
just happy
preference
to be
on that?
invited.
Oh, no, I mean, fine with daughter. I mean, what?
Sandy.
Seem somewhat hesitant?
No, I was just thinking. No, I think that's my position. Yeah, I'm fine.
So is that the 23rd or?
Yeah.
So we will not have an April or May. We will not have the original April and May. We'll have April 23rd instead between the two.
Yeah, and it splits.
Is it okay to have it the day before the CBTA meeting?
I think that's fine. In fact, I
It
mean,
is what it is.
yeah, it just is. That's what was a couple things were bounced in my head, but, yeah.
Let people know in the regular meeting.
Yeah, we can make the
Okay.
announcement.
We need a
This
motion for
morning.
that?
I
No,
don't think so.
just change the schedule.
Yeah.
Feel the power. Mr.
Feel the
Chairman.
power, thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Esquire.
Okay, we'll make that announcement. Thank you. The next item B on the agenda, starting on page 6 of the packet, is the draft bylaws. We had a pretty lengthy conversation last meeting, this was back in June, about the bylaws for the TPO. This is an item on the work plan for that fiscal year, and we're bringing it forward to finalize the updated bylaws. Mr. Gregory and I worked together to review the content of the meeting discussion last time and incorporated the recommended changes that we had discussed. So in addition to other formatting and just sort of making the numbering and things like that, that Mr. Gregory went through with a fine tooth comb and just updated some of that numbering and up-to-date grammar, punctuation, those types of things. I think the first item that I'll call your attention to is in Article 3 for membership. Starting at Section 2, we had discussed at the last meeting the opportunity to incorporate the Central Virginia Transportation Authority as a member and part of the CBTA. An update to the version that you have here, Mr. Gregory's recommendation is actually that CBTA be listed in Section 3 as a non-voting member, simply because the voting membership was designated by the governor when the MPO designation occurred. And so there's a little bit of a procedural question as to whether or not the policy board itself has the authority without going through the governor and so on to amend that voting membership. And so that would be, staff's recommendation would be, unless it's really important to have CBTA as a voting member, we would actually add them in Section 3, non-voting membership.
I agree. I don't know that we would have the authority to do it. Number two is, I don't think CBTA, just the nature of the two organizations, working close together, that's great. But then having voting authority inside the organization, I don't think would. I think that's.
Should there be a designated person then from the CBTA to sit in the policy board meeting?
So we
Not
did-
to vote, but
Yeah, I mean,
I know there's a bunch of us that are on it. I know.
Yeah, sure.
Section 3 would enable that.
That's
So if
okay.
adding CBTA to non-voting memberships at Section 3,
Mhm.
they would be a part of there would be a seat at the table
Correct.
for whomever the CBTA identified to represent them,
CBTA would
Yes.
designate that person.
which is the same way that the other non-voting members and voting members, frankly, handle things. So we
Right.
do not prescribe who it is.
So the chairman, which has, and CBT has broad authority, could designate, I guess either chairman could come, or they could send a designee vice chair, or any
You're
member
there
to choose.
already,
So
so. you know.
you have those issues, yeah, or those dynamics, it wouldn't create an issue, yeah.
Right.
And
That's a good point, though.
Right.
on this, I think so we get a CBTA update within the agency
Typically do,
updates
yeah.
anyways, usually from Mr. Parsons, so.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of formalizing that, putting that in there as a non-voting member, I think is, okay.
Mr. Chairman, just application
Mhm.
under, and then we got a lot. Article 3 membership, I'm looking at the draft chart,
Mm-hmm,
and it shows CBTA with one vote.
yeah.
Correct. So
That's deleted.
that'd
if
be-
the executive committee agrees to move this forward to the full policy board, the version that would go to the policy board would have CBTA listed not in that chart, but down in
Under
Section
non-voting
3.
under section
Yes.
3.9.
I apologize,
No,
you're getting a little slow following this, because I was actually on the next page under that section. which, you know, was listing things different places. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand what we're doing. Thank you.
All good on that one? Okay, on the next page, Article 4, Section 1, Officers and Elections. This is again, just, I think, more of a, trying to bring reconcile the practice and the procedure that we have already in our non-binding guiding documents into conformity through the bylaws. And so this isn't really a change in how you already do things. It's just simply adding, referencing the non-binding bylaws, and that the membership of the MPO elects their chair and vice chair, which is what you already do.
And it does say jurisdictional, which means the transit authority and the airport commission would not be eligible for chairing.
That's correct, yes. So the executive committee is comprised of one member from each of the 9 jurisdictions, and then traditionally, the officers are 1 and 2 of those 9 member jurisdiction representatives.
Just to clarify the number of votes that each jurisdiction has.
Under 6, Mr. Chairman. We could talk about this, want to make sure we have the authority to do that. and
Where,
we've got it
sorry?
Straight. I'm sorry,
And
ma'am.
you said 6.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Article 6, is that where you are, sir?
She's
After-
on Article 4.
Still on 4, officers and elections?
Yeah.
Correct,
Okay, my
yeah.
apologies, all right.
Overachiever.
Just at the bottom, Article 5, Section 1, just wanted to get, again, we, as a matter of practice, the policy board doesn't actually meet monthly all the time for various reasons, like we just discussed. And so just adding that simple "or" creates that opportunity to be able to have that flexibility to adjust schedule. Mr. Davis, something in number 6?
Yeah,
Article 6.
well, yeah, I didn't, are we good? Obviously you put it before us, but, and Eric's looked at it. You know, over the years, we've talked a lot about voting and, who can and what and designees, and the number 5 or 6 years ago got really deep in that. Are we good with this? And I have one question. I see it says deleted, but I don't know if that
It
lines.
was a space between the voting, it was a format adjustment. So no text was deleted.
Okay, so that's what the deleted is. The
Yeah.
deleted is not trying to take out.
No, it was literally the space between the
I'm good, yeah,
period after 1 and the V for voting.
some folks, because of their
Sorry.
age, some are doing double spaces afterwards that we learned in typing class.
I actually thought I removed all those references to the formatting things, but for that reason, but
Okay, so
yeah.
that's a formatting error, nothing to do with language. I just saw the underline in the sentence and I couldn't figure.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you, ma'am.
So following up on Mr. Davis, we had something of an animated discussion. Is this cumulative voting? In some places they call 1 vote rule, where I'm here and I would cast 2 votes for Goochland because I'm the only Gucci, or how does? Or do we need to have 2 people here to cast 2 votes?
No, provided it is made clear for the record, and the non-binding guidance document that we already have lays this out. If, for example, you are here and you are the authorized individual, you are the individual authorized by your home board to cast the 2 votes for Goochland County, you are able to do that.
All right.
But it has to be bestowed, that authority has to be given to you by your board of supervisors.
It has to be known to the body that you're voting to.
Correct.
The others, so Goochland tells you can do it.
Yeah.
That's one blessing. And then the body needs to know that that's what you're doing.
I need to report that.
So the
I
secretary,
need to confirm that my appointment does somehow do that.
and I would tell you, in your search, you have that authority.
Yeah,
We have that on record.
okay, I just,
And we also, for most of the jurisdictions, I think we have clarified with everybody, if there are alternates or what have you, who does that alternate represent? We have that also, I think
All right,
we're
okay, I just,
we're in a good shape. I did skip, with apologies, up at the top of that page, Article 5, Section 3, we had a conversation about the time frame of release of the agenda packet prior to the meeting. It's currently 10 days. Through that conversation, we've moved that to 8 days, 8 business days, I think, or 8 days, excuse me. On the next page, still in Article 6, Section 5. This section is a new section, so Section 5 is new. And it does just simply clarify that issue about voting representation to ensure that we have on record who is authorized by the home body to represent the jurisdiction.
Okay.
So is that something that will be public for us at each meeting to know, or is that something, not that matters as much as make sure we have a quorum, so. Like, I have no idea if New Kent has given him the authority for both of his or not. I assume that you all do.
So I think the idea would be that during the roll call, if an alternate were present, we would make that announcement that the alternate is here in place of, so-and-so, and this is the votes that they are casting.
They have the authority
I
to
think that's great to do, yes.
their votes.
Janice calls all of us. Mr. Botters is always called.
We call that roll for every person who is
Yes,
on the roster, and then after that, she doesn't call absent people anymore on the vote.
I understand.
But I think to the chairman's point, and we've talked about this before, that if that is the case, you've got Lyle here, you got Valders here, it's fine. Valders not here, Lyle's here, you answer present. And we probably should make a verbal, this is what we were talking about years ago with the legal stuff, and I'm glad it's in there, that you're carrying all the votes for Goochland or any locality. So that way when it's voted,
Can I have yours?
So
yeah, you want mine too?
I mean, I think, yeah, procedurally, we could absolutely have it be part of that.
Just, you remember how it got sticky?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's our intent with this, with the addition of this section, to make it more clear.
But to make sure I'm clear, if there are 4 from Henrico here, each of them could vote.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. It would
Or
be.
1 could vote.
Yes, so
for
that's a
carrying
a
forward.
really great
Yeah.
example. It would be, if there are typically 4 representatives from a jurisdiction and 3 come,
Mhm.
our staff would need to know which of the 3 are carrying that 4th vote.
Yeah, okay.
Assuming our board gives the authority
Correct.
Yeah.
to them
Yes.
to have that extra vote, right?
So
Mhm.
some jurisdictions prefer to have it, I'll call it floating, so that depending on attendance and calendaring, and that's fine, but we need to know how to allocate the 4 votes in that situation. So announcing that at the beginning of the meeting would be helpful.
Yeah.
You can just-
Yeah.
Taking it for the-
Okay. Section 5, again, it's a same topic, really attempting to clarify what we understand to be the desire and the practice, if you will, so that it's more clearly laid out in the bylaw. So again, those chairs are there, and I think it speaks exactly to what we've just talked about, of the notification of the number of votes each member or alternate will be casting in that meeting. Section 3 on the next section of this is Article 7, Section 3, just creating a spot, if it's so desired, for CBTA to have a representative on the technical advisory committee. We also added a section where local governments may wish to designate an alternate to their designated TAC member to ensure representation at all meetings. So it's an election, it's not mandatory, but certainly, again, to be able to make sure that localities are represented on the TAC. In the absence of their regular member, they could have an alternate. Next section, Section 4, with regard to the Community Transportation Advisory Committee. I will flag, we do have a meeting scheduled for September with the CTAC to have them review this section, just to be able to give any kind of input or feedback. So we'll alert you to that as soon as, if they have any suggestions for changes. But at this time, the recommended changes are in that bottom paragraph, that each at-large member organization may appoint an alternate member to serve in their absence of the regular meeting. Previously, it was just it just was each organization. So it's just a clarifying point there.
Is there a list of the at-large members? Is that in CTAC?
Yes,
In there.
yes. So, oh gosh, I believe as of right now, the policy board has identified 10 at-large member organizations. So there are 2 spots according to the makeup in the bylaws that have not been identified at this point. And CTAC is also interested in making a recommendation to the policy board of what other organizations might be beneficial to serve there. It's groups like Chamber RBA, League of Women Voters, Richmond Area Bicycling Association, RBA Rapid Transit, NAACP,
Virginians for High Speed
Thank you.
Rail.
Virginians for High Speed Rail.
Data Conservation Network.
couple more that we're probably not quite remember, but yeah, that's the type of organizations that are represented.
So there may be an idea of putting a couple more on.
The
Okay.
Span Center is on the CTAC,
Mhm.
yeah, so
Okay.
tried to identify groups. Dr. Newbill, you'll probably remember this was largely, that group of 10 were largely identified when we had the Elderly and Disabled Advisory Committee, and that was merged, and we did a reconfiguration of how we engage stakeholder and citizens in the MPO planning process about 8 years ago or so, I think, 8-10 years ago.
So weird.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's
It's been a minute.
Just for sake of discussion here, would anybody think about, that vote count? And I know it's CPAC, it's not, it's not, a policy situation, but I would say, just for me looking at this, I'd go Chesterfield, Henrico, City of Richmond 4, and the counties 2, and those at large 1.
I follow Mr. Moore because I was gonna ask the same question. Why does the CTAC, the larger localities have less of a voice than on the policy board? So I just was curious.
Just a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just curious what the rationale on that might be, because the CTAC membership,
I will offer, it has been difficult for some jurisdictions to fill the seats that they have currently.
okay,
So if you wanted the voting to be at that
Here
weighting,
they come.
that and or you could empower the representatives to be able to cast more than one vote. Right now, it reads that you have 2 appointees for those larger jurisdictions. So if you wanted to move it to 4, that means you have to find 2 more people to serve.
Oh,
Or you could think about assigning those votes. That'd be your business, but I would just throw that out there. We actually have been for a couple of years in a difficult situation with not all of the locality seats filled as they are.
in a dream world that everybody shows up, okay? I don't see where an at-large would have the same vote as my CTAC person would.
That makes total sense.
Okay, I don't understand that.
That makes total sense. So we could.
That's
we could
why,
update-
that's why I said, if you go bump your guys up, that's fine. Bump us up, and then CTAC would they'd have a voice, and their voice at the meeting would be just like ours. It's just when it comes down to voting. Just an idea.
And CTAC recommends, they're
Right,
not.
this is not policy.
They're simple's better for me. I mean, because I know my CTAC guy has been there long before I joined my board. And he remotes Bob Basham. I think he remotes it mostly, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But shame on me, I don't call him frequently and say, Bob, what happened at your last meeting? And unfortunately, he's not calling me. So I know he's there. And we had a conversation about that he wanted to continue to serve. But I've got to confess, I'm not getting a lot of information from him. So
If we did do the distribution of votes, as Mr. Moyer is suggesting, with the 3 larger jurisdictions with 4 and then the rest of the jurisdictions with 2, it would also collectively, I think my math is right, it would mean that the localities as a whole have 24 votes and the organizations have 12. So it does make sure that the local government voices the route.
Our new CTAC person, you've probably met Mr.
Yeah,
Dismore. He's probably
yeah.
watching right now.
He was great, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Very
I
engaged.
understand how, he's gonna be very, very intent, in this, so I wanna make sure he gets
That'd be
the
great.
right vote.
And Hanover would be the one that currently has 3 votes on the policy board.
Oh, yeah.
They're actually the one that has them. They're not cut in half, they're cut in a third, right? They have 3 here and only 1. So they would have the,
So they could have, so it could be 4, 4, 4, 3,
Yeah.
and then
That's-
2,
that'd be mine.
the mirror of that policy board.
Consistency.
So
Okay.
You okay with Mr. Waddell?
Dr. Ridley,
having 3 votes?
I think so. Dr. Ridley would just have to recruit somebody.
He'll be thrilled.
Dr. Newbill, you had a
Yeah, I
question?
just want to be clear, so the votes would be the same as for the membership of this body.
On the
For the
jurisdiction,
BCAT,
for the
yes,
jurisdiction.
For the jurisdiction.
Plus.
I think
And
that's-
even if they send for us, if someone's missing, they can carry the vote in total for that jurisdiction.
So Goochland, New Kent, and Goochland, so Ashland and Charles City would still have 1.
Mhm.
Yeah. Correct.
Carry it and make that designation.
Right.
At home.
Yes.
Great suggestion, Mr. Moore.
Great, yeah, thank you.
You can go home now.
With your butt off.
Home isn't good right now. Not mine, I'm not counting. You know how it is, Sean.
Last section
Good
is
crown jewel,
um,
Central Virginia. Very great.
an update to section 5 with regard to formation of new committees. This is cleaning it up sort of to be in more consistent with how, I don't know that the policy board has really created any special committees in recent history, but kind of more consistent with how some of our other organization bylaws read, that it does not require a 2/3 vote is present, simply that with concurrence from executive committee, the chair. So there's a check and balance there, but it's a little bit less recommendation to you for consideration, just.
So I do have one question, Mr. Chairman, and I was just wondering, so since the chair can appoint to the citizens of the community transportation, the community transportation.
Excuse me, where you, sir?
I'm way back
sorry.
over here, but we're talking about, I apologize.
That's okay.
Since we're talking about committees, and I was just wondering, was that because of designation? All the way back, Article 4, Section 4, but it kind of relates to the committee, so I waited till we got to the end. But there's just, it's deleted that the chair will be responsible for appointing the chair of all MPO committees except for the Community Transportation Advisory Committee and the TAC. What was that? Conflict?
Without prejudice to either direction, that deletion
Yeah.
was to bring that section into conformity with section 4. which
See, that's what we're talking about.
says that the chair and vice chair are elected by the CTAC voting membership. So the bylaws in those 2 sections were inconsistent.
Conflict.
And so-
Yeah.
I don't have a position either way, but.
No, I
that
think
was
it's
the-
fine as long as that. I just wondered if that's what it was
Yeah, thank you for catching. that.
ministerial and say anything. All right, thank you, man.
Great point. Thank you, Mr. Davis. You okay with where it is?
I'm fine. Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you.
So if the substance of these and the recommended changes that we've talked about feel like the right set of changes, our request would be that by consensus, are the draft bylaws ready to come to the policy board? You can see in the last article there that the process for amendments, it would require 2 readings at meetings where the attendance is at that 2/3 level. So we would schedule the first reading for the October policy board meeting, if you're ready for that, with a recommendation of the draft bylaws from the executive committee.
Comments? Everyone okay with that?
Great, thank you all. Just a couple more things and we'll probably wrap a little bit early. Policy board meeting consent agenda items. Chair Bogish and I were just talking before the meeting. We thought that if there was a desire to do so, a potential amendment to the consent agenda might be to pull item B so that we can give the resolutions
Yeah.
the due
I agree.
that we think they would probably deserve. for the recognition of service from Mr. Hodges.
So when we consider amendments, if someone would make a motion to move 4B, and we'll move that to 5, that would become 5A, I guess, right? Hopefully we can do that in the
A5, yeah.
A5, 5A.
And then the other consent agenda items are the pretty standard things. Ms. Guthrie will not be here today. She has been a long-standing member. She had a conflict, but was very grateful for the resolution and sent a really kind note actually yesterday to Mr. Lance, but she will not be here today to be able to receive that, so we'll follow up with her afterwards.
Thank you.
But yeah, she's been a tremendous asset to the CTAC for a long time. And then items C and D are standard work status reports. They're a bit duplicative in content simply because item D is the annual compilation of the quarterly report, but they're both in the packet for approval. And our process is part of our submittals to the state agencies. With the chair's permission, I have 2 other items just wanted to share with everybody. We had a handout of each of your seats. This is just an information item. The Association of Metropolitan Planning Organizations provided this to its membership, so we are a member. Just advising of the legislative position that AMPO has with regard to surface transportation authorization at the federal level. And they are certainly encouraging members to communicate with their legislators at the federal level to advance the priorities from AMPO. As most of you know, the TPO and the commission rarely take a position on policy matters like this, but we like to share the material from our association and thought that this could be a useful start to any conversation if you're having such a thing in your local governments from a legislative agenda perspective. And there are more resources on the AMPO website that I can pass along to anybody who's interested. They actually have template documents to be able to promote the benefit of reauthorization as it relates to MPOs, if you're interested in that. So it's just an information item for you to take back to your home locality. Last thing, oh, yes.
I don't see a date on this. I don't know when this was presented.
It came out in the newsletter last week, I think.
I believe you.
Yeah, you're right. I should take that back. This template isn't dated because it's the recommended template that members would send to their committee, to the committee and their Congress people.
Okay.
It's not addressed to us, but they released it about less than a week ago.
And I just acknowledging, I do not know Mayor Kate Gallego. Is she from what city?
Let's see. I will find that out. I don't know this. I don't know the community that she represents, and I'll find that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And this is F.
It's an FYI. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Phoenix, is it? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Look at you.
Harvard grad.
Great having those smart.
Last thing is just an announcement with sadness from me and joy from Janice. So
I will be retiring from Plan RDA and have decided to stay a couple months to help get things in hopefully in good order. And so our next meeting, October 2nd, will be my last day.
I'm not sure, Mr. Chair, if that's we need to vote on that, don't we?
I think so. We did. Yeah.
well, you can see by the smile on her face that she's got
Sounds pretty good.
some exciting plans for spending time, well-deserved time with friends and family and celebrating her recent wedding and some things like that. So I'm really happy for you. And
Thank
the
you.
team has been notified and we were talking this morning. I wanted to make sure that all of you knew. So.
Well, I kind of said, I, on one hand, I'm very sad because this has been wonderful. This has absolutely been the best position I have ever had. And I don't say that lightly because I was with Hanover County for
And I'm sitting.
years and years. And loved working there. I've been between state and county government my whole career, and have just absolutely enjoyed every minute here. So on the one hand, I'm very sad. Other hand, I'm very excited. I want more time with my husband and grandchildren. We have a place at the Bay, and and I'm constantly pulled towards that now.
And the
Um,
addresses.
The very excited hand won, so definitely gonna go with that and try to shift gears.
Great.
Well, I won't take it personally that as I keep the chair, and then you left. But again, I personally,
good hands.
that's exactly, yes. Well, congratulations, and we're super excited for you in the future, so thank you for all you've done for Plan RVA, the planning organization, et cetera, so.
Thank you.
And your turtle, in the military, we said your turtle who's coming up slow behind you is, we know who that will be.
We have initiated a recruitment process, so
The answer
the
is no.
goal is, no, we do not. So
Okay.
the goal is, if not overlap, certainly to have as seamless of a transition as possible. And Mr. Kumar has very graciously indicated an interest in being very active in supporting the transition as well. So we're
Good,
grateful to
good,
him.
good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Just make sure you stay, okay?
The only other thing I wanted to add at the end, on the resolutions, we'll have one motion for both resolutions. If anyone feels compelled to read either one, please let me know, otherwise I'll read them or. Yes, yeah. Is that's not the
That for our
back?
handout.
We've already printed the packet.
I got you, fair enough. So we do have a new one. But if anyone else feels compelled, they want to read it, in our meetings, we.
The resolution that's in your packet was drafted prior to Mr. Hodges passing, and so Janice and Mr. Rogish worked on a slightly updated version that
Yeah.
we felt was more appropriate given last week's event.